Hey guys, it's Miss Allie, and today this video is just a few extra tips and exercises for flexibility, so hopefully it'll get your muscles nice and warm and really stretched out to do those nice high kicks. So, one thing that we do all the time, anytime we're in a straddle or doing a Y scale, we're always stretching the inside of our thighs. And it's also really important to stretch the outside as well, because all of it works together to help your legs get super high and your muscles stretch. So I suggest you do one of our other warm-up videos to make sure you're already really warm before you start doing these extra flexibility exercises. So after you're nice and warm on the inside of your thighs, for the outside, what you can do, you're gonna stack one leg on top of the other. So right now I have my right leg on top of my left. And something that's really important is that you want your knees and your ankles to be right on top of each other, yeah? So a lot of times when we do this stretch, we think about overcrossing to get the outside of the hip, but really if you think about this right angle right here with my knees and my ankles stacked straight on top of each other, you really get an extra stretch on the outside of that hip. So my leg that's on top, which is my right leg, that is where I'm gonna feel the stretch on the outside of my right hip. So when we're here, I can already feel it, honestly. So as we stretch over, we want to have a flat back, but we just want to lean as far as we can. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna lean, try to keep your straight back as much as you can. We're gonna hold this for a second. And then go ahead and release and just let everything fall down. So let your head be super heavy, you're not holding it up, looking up, you're letting your head hang all the way down. You should feel it extra on top of that outside hip. Go ahead and walk your hands to the right, still being super heavy with our head. And to the left. Center, hold it there for a few more seconds. Still being super duper heavy. And we're going to slowly roll up all the way through every vertebrae in the spine. Whew. So, if you're like me, you felt that a lot on the outside of that hip, because that's a muscle that doesn't get stretched all the time, so it's really good to work on that muscle every once in a while. So let's go ahead and do it on the other leg, whichever leg you didn't do. So now I'm using my left. My left is going on top, same thing. My knees, my ankles are lined up directly on top of each other. It's like they're connected by a pole shooting straight through them. So I have really nice posture. I'm leaning over to the center, flat back, my neck is in line. I'm gonna hold this for a little bit. And then you're gonna collapse over, everything super heavy, including the head. And you're gonna walk your hands to the left. And walking to the right. If you're not all the way over, that's okay. Not everyone will be, but it's important to just go until you get that good stretch. And back to the center. Rolling all the way up through every vertebrae. And then head comes up last. So the main thing for that exercise is really making sure your knees and your ankles stay in that perfect line, straight on top of each other. That's what helps you get the best stretch out of that exercise. So this one is a little bit different. We're used to, I'm sure you've all done this, where you put your legs against the wall and you stretch over. But one way that I think helps the stretch go a little bit deeper and get that extra pull is if you actually put your back against the wall instead of your legs. So if you have your back against the wall, you can't really push away. It's just kind of there. So you're gonna lean over. You can go ahead and put your hands on the floor. I'm gonna press my back against the wall and then walk my legs just as close as I can get them. If they're not touching my face, that's okay. It's still a great stretch, so I'm just gonna walk my legs in as close as they can. So same thing as our other stretch, I want my head to be super heavy. I don't want to have tension up in my shoulders and my neck. I want my head to be super heavy because your head's actually very heavy. With that extra weight, it gives you just an extra pull and a stretch. So I'm gonna put my hands down, make sure you have an empty wall space. I'm gonna put my back against the wall and walk my legs as close to my body as I can. I'm just gonna hang out here for a second. I feel it all down the backs of my legs. So you wanna keep your knees straight, but you don't wanna hyperextend them because that can be dangerous for these muscles, but you wanna keep them as straight as possible. So if you see my head is super heavy, I'm not tensed up, I'm not breaking my neck, I'm letting it go straight down in the line with my back. And I'm leaning my weight against the wall. That really helps me lean towards my legs, if that makes sense. So you're gonna hang out here for a little bit. And once you feel a good stretch, you can slowly just back away. And I really feel that one in the back of my hamstrings and down my calves and everything. It's a great stretch for that. And now we're gonna do some extensions. So we've all done this before. You put one leg up against the wall. We want to have our nice straight knees once again on the bottom leg and the top leg. Our top foot, we need to have a nice pointed foot because it's always good to practice right technique even when you're stretching, because that transfers over to when you're dancing where you don't even have to think about it. Your technique is just solid and it's just going to be there for you even when you're not thinking super crazy hard about it. So this time my legs are going to be against the wall and I'm going to use my right leg, just extend it up. I'm going to use my hands to push myself towards my bottom leg. I don't know if you can see my top foot, but it is super pointed right now. And I'm going to try to make my head super heavy again and not have it sticking up or breaking this leg. I want to have it in line with my back, one straight line. I'm going to try to push myself with my arms towards my bottom leg. And then I'm going to walk out and come down. Then I'm going to do the same thing on my other leg in just a second. One thing, I said I'm going to push my arms down into the floor so I can push my upper body towards my bottom leg to give that extra stretch down there, which really helps if you're not just like sitting in a stretch. If you're not pushing yourself, then you aren't getting the benefit of these exercises, so really try to push yourself to where you can feel your muscles stretching. So let's go ahead and do the left leg. I'm going to put my right foot against the wall. My left leg extends up, and I'm pointing my top foot. I'm using my arms to push myself against my leg, keeping my head heavy, straight down. And I'm coming down. So another little tip or a little helpful hint, when you're hanging over and I say to let your head be heavy, a really good thing to like check in and make sure it is, you can shake your head yes when you're down and shake your head no, and then you can kind of feel your neck loosen up and really letting your head fall as much as it can. Another little hamstring stretch that I find helpful sometimes, if you just put your foot straight against the wall. See, I'm kind of far away from it. I'm not like super up close to the wall. And I bend. I'm going to turn out my bottom leg. If I just stick into a plie, I don't want to let my knee bend this way because that can hurt yourself. So you really want to keep your knee tracking against your toes and your turnout. And I'm just going to fall over and collapse into my top leg. Feel that nice hamstring stretch. You can just hold it there. You can bounce it if you want. You can flex the top foot, whatever feels best for you. And then, what I like to do, I like to turn out into second. So my bottom foot's still turned out, and now my top foot is turned out as well. And I'm going to go into a plie again. I'm going to use my hand to push out this knee. So I'm getting this nice inside of my thigh stretch. It feels really nice. go as deep into that plie as your body allows you to, and then come up. We'll go ahead and do that on the other foot. So I would say the most important thing for this exercise is making sure you keep that turnout and you're not letting your knees buckle forward when you bend on that bottom leg, because that could be dangerous. So, same thing, put my left foot on the wall. I'm going to turn out my bottom foot. I'm then going to go into a plie and stretch over. I can do little pulses, or I can flex my top foot. And then come up, and then I'm going to turn out in a second. Both legs are turned out. I'm going to go into a plie and just press this bottom knee out. Feel that inner thigh stretch on both legs. And another thing, just helpful hint, or not hint, just a little something extra that I like to do sometimes when I do my splits. I find it helpful to flex my feet because it just gives a little extra pull in your muscles that are working, and it feels nice to know like where those muscles are and what's working. So that's something that if you want to try whenever you're doing your splits, if you want to try to just flex your feet for once in a while, it might be helpful. So I hope these all work out for you, and I hope you try these at home. Thank you. Bye.